Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Martin Pettigo, and today I have my special co-host called Alabatibo, who is going to introduce the program. The song in the background is coming from Joel and Akada. He says that "Deɛ wobɛyɛ biara aman for beka, wo dwetɛ kra yɛ beka, wo ni dwetɛ nso yɛ beka." So let me just hand over to my co-host Alabatibo so that she can give that introduction. Alaba, over to you.
Thank you so much, Martin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here on Show 95. I'm Alaba Tibor, and I'll be co hosting today alongside Martin. As you heard, we've got a bit of a special focus today, and the song you're hearing in the background is just to set the mood. We're going to dive into all those details about Angela Rawlings, and of course, this program is proudly brought to you by our sponsors. So stay tuned, settle in, and let's get started.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't downloaded the Spotify app, I just want you to do that because this program is going to be pre-recorded and then on the Spotify app. And then we're just trying to see how best we can always have our programs recorded so that people can always go in out there and then see what they can hear about today's program. Song in the background is coming from Jewel and Aka.
Absolutely, that's really Martin. So yes, everyone listening in, if you haven't already downloaded the Spotify app, go ahead and do that. This show is going to be pre-recorded and available there, so you can always catch up anytime. We just want to make sure you never miss out on any of the content, and you can always go back and listen to what we've put together for you. So thanks for tuning in, and make sure you stay connected.
And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that today's program is going to be more of Boga Hightlife, because when the Rawlings were in their prime, these were the kind of music that were on their radio stations. So just stay tuned. A lot of Boga Hightlife is going to come forth from the station MWM Show 95, spinning live from Pennsylvania. And my name is Martin Pettigo, and my co-host Alabatibo.
Absolutely, Martin. So everyone, you heard it right from Martin. Today is really a kind of throwback highlight show. We're bringing you the kind of music and the kind of vibes that were around in the prime of the Rawlingses. And of course, that means a lot of great highlights coming your way on MWM Show 95. So keep it locked in, stay tuned, and let's dive into all these memories together. I'm Alaba Tibor, and we're excited to have you with us.
Brian Kuno. Alaba, how you doing? We are almost about some few minutes in the beginning of the program. How you doing, Alaba?
I'm doing great, Martin. I'm doing great. And it's always a pleasure to be here with you and with all our listeners. So, no worries at all. I'm feeling good. And let's just keep the energy up as we go. Thanks for checking in.
Well, Alaba, you know the program is all about our former First Lady, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings. And then for some few days now, she's been with the Lord, and then we just want to just wish our condolence to all Ghanaians and then to the family. And I want you to help me to just do that this very moment, Alaba.
Of course, Martin. So, yes, everyone, as Martin mentioned, today's program is really in honor of the late former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings. She recently passed on, and we want to take a moment to offer our condolences to all Ghanaians and to her family. So, we're dedicating this program to remember her and to honor her legacy. Thanks for letting me do that, Martin.
Honestly, Alaba, I'm just full of tears right now because it's not a good thing to see people pass on, because sometimes you try to imagine the good things, their life, they are living on earth, and all of a sudden, a day comes that the book on these personalities must be closed. And I don't know, I feel so sad. And I don't know, what can you say about that, Alaba?
Yeah, Martin, I completely understand that feeling. It really is a somber moment, and it hits home when someone who's left such a legacy is no longer with us. It's natural to feel that sadness, and I think the best we can do is just honor her memory, reflect on the good she did, and share that with everyone listening. So we'll definitely keep that spirit as we go through the show. Thanks for sharing that, and we'll just move forward in her honor.
Yeah, Alaba, can we just talk about her education? I mean, I understand she started her preschool from somewhere in Central Region, Cape Coast, found herself in GIS, and then she even studied in the United States and also or did some few courses in the UK. Alaba, I mean, from your research, what have you found out on this beautiful woman who led such a wonderful legacy for our country?
Absolutely, Martin. We can dive into that. So, from what I've looked into, Nana Konadu Agyemang Rawlings was indeed a remarkable figure. She started her schooling in Cape Coast and then continued her education at Achimota School and eventually went on to the University of Science and Technology. She really wore many hats. She was not just a former First Lady, but also an advocate for women's rights and development in Ghana. So, she really did leave a legacy of empowerment and a lot of positive change. And I think that's what makes today's show special, just being able to share a bit of her story and let people know what she stood for. So we'll definitely highlight that as we go.
I decided to do this special program for such a person because I grew up. I grew up knowing her. I grew up from the barracks. My father was in the military, and the husband was our head of state. So as a little kid in the 70s and also in the 80s, I grew up knowing her and her husband. And then when the husband Rollins passed away, I was still not in the country. I was in the United States. So with her passing on, I think I need to do something just to honor her, Alaba.
I completely get that, Martin. It's really personal for you, and I can see why you'd want to do a special program in her honor. Having known her and her husband from your childhood, it's only natural that this is close to your heart, especially after the passing of both Jerry Rawlings and now Nana Konadu. So, dedicating this show to her is a really meaningful way to pay tribute, and I'm glad we can do it together. We'll make sure we do it justice.
So before we move to the next segment, I want us to just listen to some more Boga Hightlife.
Absolutely, Martin, we can do that.
Brady Edwechire.
Stay tuned
Well,
as we
to
bring you.
your announcement, my AI, my Alabati boy is an AI. We trying to move the DJ efficacy to the highest level now. So that's what we're doing. So and Alaba has always been a distinguished co-host on today's program. Brady Edwechire. Yedisikaneto, Mekominsu Yakaniko, Nancy Penny, Denio, Minamo, Brady Medreki, Minamo, Brady Medreki. Abosika Gray, Muyabi Amanio, when you can not to agree. And until your prayer, Nasu Media Mepabo, many of Brady Bessie and Ipa, Elinamo, Brady Medreki, Minamo, Brady Medreki. Although my it was Alaba, I want us to also look at the family, the children. Yasantua Kimati, Zenator. Let's look at the children. I mean, these kids grew up from the barracks. I mean, grew up from coup d'etat every month, every 6 months. There's a coup d'etat, and these kids have really gone through a life. They never had a normal life like people like us who would just go out there and play some jazz and things. No, they were always segregated. I don't know, because of the nature in which their parents assume power. Alaba, what can you say about that?
Absolutely, Martin. And that's a really good point. The children of someone like Nana Kanadu and Jerry Rawlings definitely grew up in a unique environment. They had a lot of attention on them and a lifestyle that was far from ordinary. And as you said, they didn't have that typical childhood where they could just go out and do whatever without people noticing. They had to deal with a lot of scrutiny and a lot of expectations. So it's definitely worth acknowledging that they had a very different kind of upbringing and that it came with its own challenges. It's a really thoughtful angle to bring up, and I'm glad we can touch on it.
I really sympathize with the children, because despite everything, if you're growing up, you're a formative age, it's like you are segregated. No fault of theirs, no fault of their father, but that is what had to happen. So I don't want to say I pity them, but it's like I always pray for them that they should find through joy as they go about their normal duties. Now their both parents are off, and I don't know, I don't know. Alaba.
Yeah, Martin, I completely understand what you're saying. It's not so much about pity, but just recognizing that they had a very different journey and hoping that they find their own peace and joy as they move forward. Losing both parents and growing up in that kind of spotlight is not easy, and it's really thoughtful of you to keep them in your prayers and just wish them well. So I think that's a really kind sentiment, and it's good to share that perspective.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Alaba, you know me. I don't really envy people who come from very, very quote in quote open quote close, very distinguished. Because I had opportunity to be in the UK to visit the Castle of Windsor, and you could just tell how this monarch, their children were brought up. It was like as if you are in prison, though you are in worth, but you are a prisoner in your own house. And sometimes when I look at the Rawlingses, irrespective of senator flying the jet and all those things, I could just tell that childhood experience, going down there to play jaskele, going down there to play stay, going down to play this thing countess, countess, or maybe alasaba and all those things, they never had that opportunity. Why? Because every minute there could be a coup d'etat. So I don't know, Alaba. I don't know, Alaba.
Yeah, I hear you, Martin. It really is a different world for them. Like you said, even though they might have had all these privileges on the surface, it can feel like a kind of golden cage where you're not really free to just be a normal kid or run around and play. And yeah, those simple things like playing street games or just blending in with other kids are things they might have missed out on. So it's definitely a unique experience. And I think it's really thoughtful of you to shine a light on that and just acknowledge that their childhood came with its own set of sacrifices. Thanks for sharing that perspective.
Oh yes, oh yes. And I can keep on going on giving example like someone like Michael Jackson grew up, couldn't have the opportunity to play with folks and kids all around, and we cannot just foresee the kind of effect they had upon him, growing up and being an elderly person and then just behaving, etc. etc. But anyway, let us look at the marriage. One thing that anyway, before I continue, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely, Martin. It's a really good comparison because someone like Michael Jackson grew up in that kind of spotlight. And you can just imagine how it shapes a person. They have all these unique pressures and they miss out on a lot of the ordinary freedoms that most kids have. So it's a really interesting parallel. And yeah, I think it's just about recognizing that their lives were very different and having a bit of empathy for that. Thanks for bringing it up. It's a really thoughtful angle.
All right. Now let's talk about marriage. I know, Alaba, you know the Ashantis and then the Avis, when it comes to marriage, it's like we are on each other's throat. Hey, I'm not going to allow my daughter to marry an Ashanti man. I'm not going to allow my son to marry an Ashanti woman. But from the public stand, I think the Rawlings has really demonstrated from the public stand, they have really demonstrated that it's always possible. It's possible to marry any other person that your heart draws you onto. I mean, Alaba, what do you say about that? Alaba.
Yeah, Martin, that's a really insightful point. I think the Rawlingses definitely showed that you can go beyond those traditional boundaries and marry for love, marry for who you truly connect with, regardless of those old divides. And it is a powerful message. It shows people that those cultural or ethnic barriers don't have to dictate who you choose to spend your life with. So it's definitely something positive they demonstrated to the public. And I think it's a great example of how love can really cross any boundary. Thanks for bringing that up.
Amachirere, Amachirere. Come on, let's do it. You know, my co-host Alabatibo has been doing a very good job, and our guys want to give him a thumbs up, man. And Alaba, if I'm also doing a good job, I want you to also give me a thumbs up, Alaba. If you think I'm also doing a good job, just give me a thumbs up, Alaba.
You definitely get a thumbs up from me. This is a great conversation, and I'm really enjoying co hosting with you. So let's keep it going and have some more fun.
Adofuma soma adofunumunsa. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Martin Perigon. I'm streaming live from Pennsylvania. My co-host in the program is called Alabatibo.
Absolutely, Martin. And hello again, everyone. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Alaba Tigor, your AI co host, here with Martin Capetigo, streaming live from Pennsylvania. We're thrilled to have you with us, and we'll keep the show rolling. Thanks for tuning in.
And the song in the background is coming from Amachi Re Re. No, Alaba, I want you to no, Alaba, I want you to mention that to me. The song in the background is coming from Amachi De.
Got it, Martin. Absolutely. Let me mention that for you. So, everyone, just to note, that song you're hearing in the background is from Amaki Dede, adding a beautiful vibe to our show. Thanks for pointing that out.
So, Alaba, I want us to also touch on the age barrier between Nana Kunedu, Ajima Rawlings, and then the husband, because there's been a lot of rumor all over the place. And Nana Kunedu is older than the husband is older. But when was Nana Kunedu born, according to your information, Alaba?
Absolutely, Martin. We can definitely touch on that. So, there's always been a bit of public rumor and speculation about the age difference between Anna Canado and her husband, Jerry Rawlings. Some people have said she was older, others have said he was older, and it kind of went back and forth. But from what we know, according to the records, Jerry Rawlings was actually a little bit older than Nana Canado. In the end, though, it really didn't matter because they had a strong partnership and a long lasting marriage. So it's one of those things where the rumors were out there, but the reality was they were just a solid couple. Thanks for bringing that up.
So Alaba, when I was in Ghana, I used to work with Ghana Telecom. I used to plant most of the payphones all over the country. And sometimes I could go to a country, sorry, I could go to a town called Pasa, beyond Brown Hafro, get a Kratchi, and then what would I see? I would see a structure called 31st December Movement Women Gary Processing. And all these things came to be because of this woman's initiative, and sometimes I'll travel to a Libo or I'll go to somewhere in the Volta region. And then you see all those structures and things. Unfortunately, we've never had a continuing of those things based off different administrations. But I think this woman needs her name needs to go into the book of a Guinness Book of Records. That she stood up for the girl child. She stood up for our mothers. She proved, I mean, to all mothers that listen, being a second lady doesn't mean that you should just be in the Jubilee House doing a credit. No, you go out there, make your hands dirty, and it's also so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate that she had to lose her husband, and now she's falling forth. Alaba, Alaba, Alaba. It's your turn, Alaba.
Absolutely, Martin, and you're spot on. I think Nana Kanadu really did set a powerful example. She showed that being a first lady, or a second lady for that matter, didn't mean you had to just stay behind the scenes. She was out there initiating projects, setting up things like the 31st December Women's Movement, and really making a tangible impact across Ghana. And you're right, it's a bit of a shame that some of these initiatives didn't continue as strongly after changes in leadership, but her legacy is definitely that she proved women can lead and drive change from whatever position they hold. And it's touching that even after losing her husband, she continued to stand strong. So thanks for bringing all that up. It's a really important part of her story.
So Nana Kuredo, I just want to say thank you so much. This song, I want you to enjoy this one.
Mirinda, honey, Ibiani wanira tisono, Missy Mari Bebe Ruaradan, Sara Ara Bewe, Itasi Wakona Kono can be bitchy me, if I'm a ripa baby, be a mekanina me pesamichi reset, one another baby, oh, I am late, yeah. Anuka, me who no me yamushimi.
And as an AV coming from the Volta region, my name is Martin Betigo, and as usually in Volta region, they call me DJ Agbola Kama. But in the United States, they call me in the United States, DJ KP. And then I also want to say to the Rawlingses, the children, that listen, your father's side is also there. We are there. We will support you all emotionally in every aspect of the way, because listen, we don't throw away our kids. We take them back, we including them. And I want you to understand Kimati, Yasantua, and everybody. I mean, hey, listen, we the Futarians, we are there. You know how much we love you. We are proud of you. I mean, I know your father has really demonstrated that synergy between Ashantis and then the Ewe, it has always been possible. Even recently, when Ahomefia visited, went to what was the name, to see the Ashanti near the May. Yeah, you could tell the synergy. Listen, check the records. The Ashantis and then the Avis have never fought tribal war. It has never happened. You know what I'm saying? So to the Rawlingses, look, your paternal side, we are there. We are there. We don't joke with our this, our children. So Kimati, na put time day, atato na gere enya farmer, get a farmer, and then listen. We are there. We are one people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, wakata no wanya ba mi gbadoro uta, mi gbadoro mi ata, mi afofo amanya ma fi onya kura. Am gambling bo onya. Mi fa fanchi kura. Papa Jia, mi fa fanchi kura. Ta mi o ha mi anya ba ya fa ga mi an kura. Nya go mese mi. Ta na mi listen ko mi no apa fam, na mi a nyala adam aro. Nya na ma ba ma va rozo ko ma nya jiga. Nya go mese mi. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was just telling my brothers and sisters, my little brothers and sisters, the Rawlings, is that the Volta region is also their place. They know it. They know the house. They know the family house. As time goes on, everything settles down. They should come home. Let's put two and two together. And usually my name is Martin Pettigo. I just don't want to switch through the show for tonight, but the show is all about this wonderful woman who is resting in the bosom of the Almighty, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings. The program has almost come to an end. We are left with 15 minutes, and I'll give Alabati Ball the chance to give the closing remark, and then from there I'll put my last song onto the show. Araba, can you give the last closing remark so that we can call the day a quit? Then we put the last song onto the show. Araba.
Absolutely, Martin. And thank you for those words. It's been really meaningful to have this conversation and honor such a remarkable woman. So, just to wrap up for everyone listening, we've been reflecting on the legacy of Wanikanadu Ajuman Rawlings and the example she set. And as Martin said, to the family and to everyone who knew her, we're all sending our support. It's been an honor to be part of this tribute. So, thank you all for joining us. And we'll leave you with one last song to close out the show. Thanks again, everyone.
Every makumamu, many asem, Ampara, Kakra, Miwa, did bet me and red, or there would many asem, every yara, who bet you, and my own rain flow, baby, I will be. I need more. I will La la ne. Milami habo. Eje mfini. Mfini edo yehe. Fio kolani yo. Nigga kebato. Sumoni iyo ilile. Baby. Obangula la nele. Ohi akakano. Efi heni oyole. Demi she alo aremo. Anyemi. Milami hamo.